show to have an experience. That was my experience. I have moved on from it. I don't have a problem with do this.
Hello and welcome to today's reunion review. I want to start by saying Baraka de Salah season greetings to all of us, those of us that are Muslims and those of us that aren't Muslims. So we're enjoying the holiday, we're enjoying the traffic free roads, although we're not enjoying the expensive foodstuffs because most of our Muslim brothers and sisters are not trading or doing much business today. But compliments of the season and season greetings. Now to the reunion, I want to say today's MVP has to be Diane.
Guy, this. For me, it was not like. For me, it was like a lack of respect. You understand? I told him several times, don't disrespect me. I have my family who is watching. I have my mom.
Today's MVP is Diane because Diane brought something that we've been clamoring for in this reunion, which is some honesty. I know that people have grown, people are no longer at the same spot they were months ago when this whole thing was happening. Granted, however, for us to have an authentic reunion, for us to be able to have real conversations, you might have to come from an honest place and come from where you were when those things happened because this is a reunion. We're trying to rehash what has happened. So people are coming on some I'm bigger now level and I'm Porsche. And you can do that, but still address some of the issues that happened in the past. So I want to shout out to Diane. Diane made me and my family laugh because we were all watching it and it was so much fun. Like when she said that Rachel sat on Giddy Fire like this. I love her authenticity. There's something beautiful about people just being themselves and being unapologetic. And that is who Diane is. So I'll start by with the whole Diane, Giddy Fire, and Rachel thing.
He knows what he's doing. Playing with their emotions. Is that
There was a time Diane got into an altercation with Rachel and insulted Rachel and was angry. And I didn't really know the full story then. But Diane was able to shed some light. So she said what annoyed her was a few days ago, Giddy Fire again, that guy. That guy is a culprit. So Giddy Fire a few days ago was telling her how much he liked her, how much, blah blah blah. All the sweet nothings and empty promises that guys tell. So Giddy Fire was giving Diane that. I'm sorry. So Gilfire was telling Diane all sorts of sweet nothings. And that was just some hours according to Diane. And then in the evening during the party, he sees her, sees Rachel and Gilfire in a very compromising and too close. And I think she said it today that she was really getting vulnerable. She was liking him small. She stayed in the house, there's no phone, nothing, nothing. She was becoming vulnerable. So to see that really pissed her off and she didn't find Giddy Fire. So unfortunately, Rachel took the hit. But one thing she also mentioned was that she felt Rachel had eyes for Giddy Fire from the very first day she walked in. Now I don't know that. I don't know if Rachel had eyes for Giddy Fire. But let me tell you, the conviction and the confidence with which Diane was saying, my friend, you had eyes for Giddy Fire. I mean, so I'm beginning to think maybe she did. Because
really? You know what they say casted?
Diane is not a liar, but we're not going to pretend like we know what's in someone else's heart. But the videos I saw of Rachel being all cute with Giddy Fire, my sister, you had eyes for him. Maybe not at the beginning, but somewhere in the middle, you did have eyes for him. So Diane was just like what really pained her out of the whole matter was the fact that they were in a compromising situation and Rachel was like this. She kept describing that and it was so funny. It was the cutest thing. And Rachel tried to get into an argument, but I won't even lie. Diane's personality is so big and so authentic. Nobody paid that much attention to Rachel, even if they wanted to. Me, I know I didn't. In today's episode, my focus was on Diane. In fact, when Rachel was talking, it was like she was disturbing Diane. I almost wanted to say, Richard, keep quiet, let Diane talk because she was so entertaining. She was so authentic and she brought a realness that many of the housemates have not been able to bring because they're trying to compose themselves. But you can compose yourself and still hold people accountable and still express yourself. And Diane did an amazing job. I loved her tonight. And even in the house, Diane has always been an authentic person. And Giddy Fire, that guy is just a player. That's what I'm going to say. Like when he was even trying to explain the whole thing today, I was just like, please, 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 please. Like I have nothing to say to Billy Fire today. My day, you're playing games. It's all right. And then we go to Beauty and Groovy.
Coming for or with. I asked him for space so many times. Like, in fact, there was this day I even said, let's just, be done with this.
And one thing that was interesting in this episode was the fact that most of the guys were actually not in support of Groovy on that issue, which was shocking to me. I didn't know that. But when they explained, I understood it and I agreed with them. So nobody's blaming Groovy for Beauty getting out of character, for being verbally abusive, and for losing control, losing self-control, even though she blames alcohol. And I believe that alcohol played a part. Alcohol will always plays a part. That's why they always say we should drink responsibly. So yeah, alcohol did play a part, but you still have to take accountability for being a grown up and making grown ass decisions. So they weren't blaming him necessarily for that. But one thing I think most of them in level two, I'm talking of Sakes, I'm talking of Brian, even Saif. And these are solid guys. These are well behaved guys. These are not beg guys. These are guys that are intelligent and carry themselves well. So I wish like those are people that they talk, you want to listen. So I was like, okay, what do these guys have to say? And they all said the same thing. They said the way Groovy moved on was really snaky. And the truth is, I agree. Groovy and Phyna, the way they moved on so quickly was somehow. I'm sorry. Like even in normal life, when you just break up with somebody, it is not healthy to just break up with somebody and jump into a new relationship. You've not healed, you've not taken a breath, you've not taken a break. So the way they moved on was actually unhealthy. I don't think that their relationship, that's I'm talking about Phyna and Groovy now, was built on something real. I felt like if Beauty did not get disqualified, Beauty and Groovy's relationship would have stood a better chance than Phyna and Groovy's relationship. Because at least Groovy and Beauty's relationship was built on a more honest foundation than Phyna and Groovy. That relationship was built on some snaky movements, some deceit, some betrayal, and all of that good stuff. So I'm not surprised. And looking back, remembering and just remembering how annoyed Phyna was about how she and Groovy ended, I'm like, what did you expect? A guy who did not respect, no matter how short it was. They both admitted today, that's Beauty and Groovy, that what they had was real. No matter how short it is, for somebody to move on that fast from somebody they were with, what makes you think that what you have with him like would have that much consideration? Like he didn't even have respect or even empathy. She was disqualified. No matter, yes, she acted a fool, but she was disqualified for something that was connected to you. There was not even empathy or respect for the fact that okay, this girl was disqualified for this reason. Let me wait more immediately. So I'm not surprised, and I have to give Beauty credit because this was her one opportunity to show up right. Because the last time she was on this platform, it wasn't looking good. So this was her one opportunity to at least show up well, and I think she did. I think she was articulate. I think she did not come on some blame game movement. She took accountability and was trying to hold other people accountable. And I think she did a good job gathering Phyna together. Beauty is one of those few people that can gather Phyna. Because one thing is that Beauty is not, apart from the fact that Beauty has grace, Beauty is also very articulate. So Beauty can do, okay, do you want to have a good conversation? Do you want to use common sense? She can do that, and you guys can have an intelligent conversation. And if you want to also do weary, Beauty can also meet you there. So I think Beauty was the one that gathered Phyna. And another reason why she was able to gather Phyna in that way was because it was clear there was no legitimate reason for Phyna to say go and die. So you know when you are caught on, they don't catch you once you care, you don't have a choice. You just have to be like, oh okay. So she really really gathered Phyna, and for Groovy, I mean, she apologized for body shaming him. I can't even remember. It's been so long, but I just want to say that I think Beauty showed up. I think that she spoke well, and I'm impressed to see the good relationship she still has with Brian and the rest. It's really nice. And there's some more funny thing. Beauty said the one thing she regrets is talking to him under the duvet. That if she had spoken to him outside, the whole world would have heard. So yeah, but that's so. I hope for her sake she has done the work. She has worked within herself to figure out what is it that was happening within me to make me show up less than. Beauty is a beauty queen, and I'm not even. This is she's a beauty queen, former Miss Nigeria or something. So she didn't show up the way she should have showed up, and I hope that she has learned. I really wish her well. I think she showed up well today, and I don't know why, but Groovy, I don't think Groovy is the most articulate person because he could not even gather one person. Everybody was giving it to him. Both Brian or Kes, they were not even here for Groovy, and I was shocked. I honestly thought that those people would be good, but they weren't. And Groovy is not the most articulate person, and I think that that is something he can work on. And it was just nice to see Phyna be humble and be calm because that's not something that happens often. So today was a really entertaining episode. I enjoyed myself. It was good and it was nice to see Beauty on the screen. Yeah. And I hope that tomorrow's episode will be good too. If there's something we're reviewing, you'll see me here. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching.